Mike Momentum checking in. Wanted to get this off my mind in terms of the situation could always be worse. The situation, the situation you think you're drowning in is really forging you to become the person that you're meant to be. The situation is honestly a stepping stone to be able to get from where you are currently and where you're trying to go. Honestly, like for myself, I feel like I've been getting tested as of recently in terms of if I really want the things that I say and like think about 24/7. God is definitely testing me in terms of if I really do want it. And I know my old self, I definitely would have failed the test just because I wasn't equipped with really how to go about the situations. However, the worst case scenario happened in my life, in terms of what I thought could, be like a wrecking ball. And yeah, it hurt me, honestly. And like, there's a couple of things. One of them was indeed a female. Another one, in terms of, financial hardship. Another one being, family. Right? Just all these things in general that could, really, weigh a person down. However, at the end of the day, as long as you have your health, as long as you have, you know, the strive to want to, get out of your situation and become better regardless, because at the end of the day, I know, time is going to pass. And, the only thing you really have to show for at that point is who you are as a person and your own general habits, how you go about life. So considering that, I have no other, reason, than to honestly just get better from each situation, learn from each situation, and like how I mentioned, using each situation and hardship as a stepping stone to become better. Because until like you're honest actually cooked and like you can't, pursue better, then like obviously like that'd be the only time you could wave like the white flag in terms of giving up. However, as long as you don't give up and don't quit and keep on persevering even if you fail as many times and it hurts and just all the emotions one can go through, right? Then for sure yeah, there's no reason to quit, and like you need to keep on going because on the other side of all that is obviously everything you're trying to strive for. However, I would say it is indeed a paradox in terms of wanting all these finer things in life per se. Like the like the financial freedom, the freedom of time, to do anything upon your own means, and like whatnot, all these luxuries, because at the end of the day, the only thing that is real is this current moment. And one thing I've had to experience myself and really understand, I would say, is that obviously you gotta be enjoyful, quote unquote, in terms of like the current moment. Like, yeah, definitely is valid to pursue greater, build an empire, leave a legacy behind. However, you know aside from materialistic things, like you definitely gotta enjoy the current day, because obviously like you can never take anything for granted. Your people around you, your own health, just everything in general. Like even when you do get to that point that you want to get to, right? I mean, there will always be more. You probably heard of like new levels, new devils. Like for sure, greed is a emotion, or yeah, an emotion or trait that is very common amongst people, and definitely within myself. And for sure, understanding that, like, yeah, I've definitely been greedy at times, like, oh, I want it all. However, obviously falling in love with the process, falling in love with the current day, and of course, like working towards that is like the ideal way to go about it. Because otherwise, I mean, you could get cooked, and like obviously, you could never get to that point, and and then what? You're just building something that, yeah, for sure, building towards something fulfills you, but more of a thing like if you can't live it out, if you can't enjoy that, you can't enjoy your current life, and like you think your current life is like hell, until you get to a point where you need to be like obviously like that's not the way you should be living, and for sure, finding joy with it and fulfillment within something greater than the monetary aspects of those goals is truly what matters in terms of your own fulfillment. Having faith, and creating something obviously, or following something that's obviously bigger than you, which is God, of course. So, definitely my eyes have opened in terms of like, yeah, obviously I think about my goals and where I want to be every day, and for sure, like I do want the finer things in life. However, I understand that I'm very blessed to be able to have the people around me that I do, to be able to have, the health that I have, to be able to have, the necessities I have. And for sure, life is great and it'll only keep on getting better. So understanding that, like definitely, like I've been in a rush to build this legacy, quote unquote, build this empire, right? However, at the end of the day, all that matters is enjoying each day to the fullest, because you never know when obviously you're cooked, or people around you, or things, circumstances happen and whatnot, and really just focusing on not so monetary like objects, even though like yeah, in this day and age, like you open up social media, and yeah, I mean your For You pages of young people and whatnot, doing the things you want to do, even though like yeah, I'm still young myself, but more of a thing like there's more to that for sure. There's definitely people who are in the position I want to be, quote unquote, financially and whatnot, that don't have like actual fulfillment. And really I would say like that fulfillment is really what you should be striving for as a human, because you know I like the monetary things are cool until you get them, and then it's always what's next, and hence new levels, new devils, right? As I stated. But yeah, I'm just very blessed to be able to be on this journey and continue keep on prospering forward, even though I've come up short in the ways that obviously I know I need to prosper in. However, I know it's only a matter of time. I understand that I find fulfillment within the journey, doing the things I know I need to do, and of course, the byproduct being those milestones. But I really used to really only equate my life to those milestones. However, obviously, there's more to life than that, and your worth isn't determined by that, and definitely like yeah, you should for sure be hard on yourself in a way, but at the same time too, like it's your first time living, it's your first time going about these things and whatnot. So definitely understanding that I'm not perfect, probably you aren't either, and for sure keeping on striving to go keeping to strive forward even when you fall short is really the goal. But yeah, I'm definitely just blessed to be able to be on this journey. I know within a matter of time I'll be where I need to be, but ultimately keeping God first, and keeping on striving forward even when things get difficult. I understand that things could always be worse, and God has blessed me with a lot, so there's no reason that I should feel down on myself. Definitely, it is a blessing to be able to pursue this opportunity in order to enrich not only my life but the others around me in a positive regard. But I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's blessed, striving towards their goals and finding ultimately what fulfills them. But yeah, I just had to get this off my mind. Mike Momentum, we checking out. Hope everybody closes this year with a banger. We're about 92% of the year done, more or less. And yeah, definitely, it's been quite the year. I've learned a lot. And, I'm grateful for everything that's happened because good, of course, the good things, but the bad things have honestly made me better. And, these things needed to happen in order for me to realize this. So, hope everyone has a blessed day, night, and, yeah, Mike Momentum, we checking out. Keep on grinding, stay locked in. You know what it do. Mike Momentum, we out. Peace.